Have you ever walked through an art gallery and thought, yeah, I'd eat that painting? I'm guessing not. But if you were looking at the mouth-watering work of the artist coming up shortly, you might just change your mind. Get ready for some works of art that are as delicious as they are mesmerizing as we explore some artistic masterpieces you can actually eat. Number 20. Pancake art. These edible icons are fascinating to watch being made, especially if you believe breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But crafting these pieces of pancakery perfection is surprisingly simple. All you need is regular pancake batter, food coloring, and a very steady hand. Pancake the pancake artist serves up brand logos, emojis, and cartoon characters by carefully planning each layer before finishing up with a super satisfying swirl and leaving it to sizzle. Then the big finish flip. This is exactly what the internet was made for. Number 19. Watermelon flowers. Mutita, an artist originally from Thailand, has been practicing turning watermelons into something even better for over 20 years. Taught by her grandfather, who worked as a chef in the palace of King Rama V, Mutita is carrying on a long-lasting tradition. Mutita's YouTube channel shows the mesmerizing, meticulous process and incredible precision involved in transforming watermelons into geometric masterpieces. That's pretty sweet. Number 18. Cute-faced foods. If you're looking for a little more personality in your food, you might find these smiling fruits and veggies endearing. Then again, it might be a little uncomfortable to consume broccoli that stares back at you, but luckily Charlotte Love's amazing pieces look pretty happy for things that are soon about to be eaten. Love is a designer, decorator, and paper artist too, but adding a sense of guilt to eating your veggies is arguably her finest work. Number 17. Coffee art. Artist Liv Burundi of Singapore has turned the annoyance of spilling your coffee into an artistic process. Her images incorporate everything from beans and grounds to streaks of spilled coffee itself, and range from whimsical scenes to familiar characters from pop culture. Burundi got the inspiration one day in an unusual manner. While watching her father drink coffee, she wondered what more could be done with it, besides making Mondays more bearable. Pretty soon, the Philippines-based nursing student had started making art from the stuff most people use to avoid post-lunch food comas. All done with grounds, her hands, a toothpick, and the occasional 3D element, her art is just as heartwarming and spirit-lifting as the brown stuff itself. Number 16. Sushi art. Nishiki Kagoi no Sugatezushi, which means multicolored koi-shaped sushi, has become a popular trend in upscale Japanese cuisine. Top chefs practicing the art form will reassemble your raw fish to look like live fish. On top of the pads of rice, strips of salmon, uni, egg, and shrimp are carefully placed along with a tiny bit of nori seaweed. Then it's covered with an extra thin slice of translucent squid, cut to form a tail and fins with dots of nori for the eyes. Skilled YouTuber Jun's Kitchen shares the process of making these mini masterpieces, and it's just as satisfying to watch as it must be to eat. Number 15. Mukimono food carving. The work of gifted Instagram artist Takehiro Kishimoto, or Gaku Gaku Gaku, is inspired by the Japanese tradition of decorative garnishing known as mukimono. But Gaku takes his work to the next level, applying traditional Japanese design elements to an astounding variety of foods, all while using nothing but a small X-Acto knife. What you might not consider when looking at these handheld works of art is that these need to be carved and photographed within minutes to avoid them rotting mid-creation. What does Gaku do with them when they're done? He eats them, of course. Number 14. Jello Cities. Even if you've been to Jello sculptor Liz Hickok's home city of San Francisco, you've definitely never seen it like this. Hickok recreates her city with different colors of the famous gelatin dessert. Hickok begins by crafting molds, which she fills up and allows the jello to set in. From there, she miraculously assembles entire cityscapes with an impressive lack of droopage, although the occasional wilting building does create a pretty surreal visual. When lit from below, her jiggly cities look incredible, resembling a dystopian future where architectural stability has fallen second to delicious walls. I, for one, welcome our gelatinous destiny. Number 13. Mind-blowing miniatures. We've all heard of big food accomplishments, world's biggest pumpkin, world's longest sandwich, and so on. But artist Tanaka Tetsuya has taken a smaller approach to impressive food art, making tiny worlds within everyday objects, including the food we eat. It's easy to get lost watching his tiny people navigate mini life riding on waves of bok choy, or starting up a roastery inside a coffee grinder. And a vacation to an island made of rice certainly sounds nice. Just don't forget to lather up in soy sauce while you're there. Number 12. Superior Smoothie Bowls. Not only are Amy Shoesmith's creations sublimely beautiful, they're also extremely good for you. With a canvas of nutritious coconut milk, she adds generous heaps of tastefully placed fruits, leaves, and flowers to create these brilliantly colored works of art that you can literally lap right up. Shoesmith provides lunch too, often boiling noodles with red cabbage and adding some lemon juice to turn them bright pink and blue. Number 11. Tasteful Designs. Playing with your food takes on a whole new meaning in Kristen Mayer's flat lay photographs. We're so used to seeing fruit in its normal shape that looking at Mayer's mesmerizing photographs almost feels as though your brain is being rewired. Mayer takes organic objects and turns them into extremely satisfying arrangements, repurposing the foods beyond recognition, save for their texture and color. If she does this at every meal though, her lunch break must be about a week long. Number 10. Pixel Food. No need to adjust your screen. These pixelated foods are the creation of artist Yuni Yoshida. In this series of images, Yoshida breaks down the color palettes and textures of some of our favorite foods and distills them all down into pixelated versions of the original things. Best of all, it's all done using the food itself. I'm just glad these graphic scenes of fruit reproduction are finally being censored. Ugh. Number 9. Fruity Faces. As you may have figured out by now, fruit is one of the most common canvases of food-based artists around the world. Italian artist Scarucci Vincenzo tackles the medium with a sometimes disturbingly realistic approach. Scarucci started his career carving pumpkins, but soon expanded his canvases to include avocados, bananas, and of course, watermelons. In one piece, he blends his dual loves of melon and marvel in this amazingly lifelike depiction of the famous villain Red Skull. After Watermelon Red Skull, I'm looking forward to a Cantaloupe Captain America. Number 8. Mind-bending medleys. When it comes to food art that seems to bend reality itself, Turkish artist Sakir Göçbek is unrivaled. Apples, melons, peas are all disassembled and rearranged, creating amazing optical puzzles that most people couldn't even replicate in Photoshop. Göçbek doesn't just work in food, but his work is all about taking the ordinary and rendering it unfamiliar, and therefore extraordinary. His fruit arrangements are no exception. Number 7. Objectively tasty. Despite their bright, bold, and colorful appearances, Romanian artist Dan Cretu's food-based works are not digitally altered. This collection is entirely composed of repurposed fruits and vegetables and brings a whole new meaning to recycling. Each shot has to be constructed and photographed in under 4 hours for the produce to stay fresh for the camera. Dan even goes full meta on this piece, showing how he prefers more unique mediums to traditional artists' tools like oil paints. As for this creative reimagining of a cassette tape, I pose you a question. If this was an album cover, what would the name of the band be? My vote's with Salami and the Meaty Boys. Number 6. Foodscapes. London-based visionary Carl Warner creates worlds as rich as the real one, but rendered using vegetables, meat, bread, and candy. Room-sized tableaus are employed to create dramatic, vibrant, and, of course, tasty scenes. Each meticulously planned and created in a constant race against decay. Like other similar artists, Warner has a knack for taking objects you wouldn't typically consider artistic and repurposing them to create dazzlingly imaginative worlds. Warner describes himself not as a photographer, but as a photographic illustrator. But I'd say genius probably describes him best. He attempts to create as much of the world as possible inside the raw photographs, and he scarcely uses digital editing besides tweaking colors and brightness. Is anyone else getting hungry here? Is that just me? Number 5. Pizza Dough Terracotta Warriors. In 2014, the 500th Pizza Express was opened in Beijing, China. To celebrate the accomplishment, the chain commissioned British artist Annabelle de Vetten to create dozens of baked warriors out of Pizza Express's signature dough. This work commemorates not only the pizza served all over the world, but China's own history too. The real terracotta army are life-sized, individualized human sculptures depicting the armies of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. Tibetan's doughy take on the warriors were painstakingly individualized, with unique hairstyles and costume designs for each warrior. Each figure is baked in 2 molded halves before being stuck together in one glorious piece. And here I am, barely able to cook a frozen pizza. Number 4. Buggin out. I know what it looks like, but no, this is not your weird neighbor's collection of creepy pets. These lifelike bugs are actually made from white chocolate. Karen Portalio is a god-tier baker, but has expanded her practice to include detailed chocolate designs like this hogman, and of course, those delectable bugs. This artist has a storied career creating wonderfully grotesque cakes, and her macabre style has even landed her appearances on Food Network's Halloween Wars. Anyone looking for a wedding cake that'll really freak out your grandma? Hit her up. Number 3. Chocolate Twin. Do you ever wake up in a cold sweat, worried that at any moment you may be replaced by a lifelike chocolate sculpture? Me neither. But if someone were to do it, the port of call would undoubtedly be expert chocolatier Cardist, whose chocolate sculptures are truly jaw-dropping. Made from edible white chocolate, isomalt sugar, and food coloring, this realistic bust looks eerily similar to its subject. The only thing you can't eat is the hair and jewelry. Just make sure you're biting into the right one, because chocolate this realistic is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Number 2. Glass animals. Tokyo artist Shinri Tezuka is keeping alive the ancient art of candy crafting with these exquisite glass-like animals. The candy is softened by heating it up to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then is manipulated by hand or with traditional Japanese tools. It's then finished by cutting, pulling, and bending the candy, attached to a stick. All this must be done within mere minutes of removing the candy from the heat, before it has time to cool, making it all the more impressive. Originating in the 8th century during Japan's Heian period, the craft only survives by being passed down through the generations. Though they certainly resemble glass ornaments, I'm sure they taste much better. Less crunchy too. Number 1. Life in chocolate. There is nothing food wizard Amara Gishan can't create with chocolate. Gishan owns the Pastry Academy Las Vegas and teaches a masterclass for pastry chefs, but he's better known for the ever more daring feats that are his chocolatey masterpieces. From gramophones to dragons, and even a dazzlingly realized Japanese garden, this artist's work can certainly stand up to a lot of scrutiny. Of course, standing up to direct sunlight on a really hot day may be a little more problematic. But anyway, Gishan's gramophone is arguably his most impressive piece, crafted with such expertise as to be easily mistaken for the real thing. It even features working drawers and a white chocolate faux marble tabletop. The producers of the Japanese game show Candy or Not Candy, where contestants identify hidden candy objects by taking a bite, are missing a trick if they don't hire Gishan. Everyone would be fooled. Well, maybe not this guy. Did these incredible creations leave you feeling hungry? Have you ever crafted a masterpiece out of your own dinner? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.